Good evening,
How you
Drew.
doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm sleepy. I'm a sleepy boy. How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm 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 yelling at the internet right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
a couple pieces of follow up.
Mm-hmm.
One of which involves me being mad at the internet. So
Okay.
we talked about the Ray-Ban smart glasses a few episodes ago,
We sure did. Did you buy
and
it? Did you?
I
No.
no
Okay.
because they just haven't been in stock, and I check this
Uh,
website every couple of days to see if they're in stock, and like this afternoon I just on a whim opened it up, and it looked like the Wayfarers, which are the ones I want, were in stock with the blue light filter like the one I want,
uh-huh.
and I added them to my bag, and like it literally said on there like hurry, only like 4 or so left or something. So I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So I added them to my bag, and then I was like trying to navigate their shitty website to figure out how to like use a gift card and apply that to my account and all that other
Mm.
stuff. And then like I kept like getting stuck in this weird programmer's nightmare loop where I think I was like accidentally QAing their website because like I was able to apply the gift card, but there was still a balance. And then every time that I was like attempting to pay the rest of the balance, PayPal thought that I owed the whole balance. And I'm
Ooh.
like, no, this isn't right. And then in between finally figuring out like what was really going on there, like it was like, oops, all gone. Like, nope, I don't have these in stock anymore.
Hmm. That's too
So
bad.
I still don't have them. I still don't have them. I
Okay.
really do want them. Like, I really want to try them. I have seen people wear these a few places,
Okay.
which is kind of creepy. I don't necessarily think I want to wear these out in public. I might wear them to the shooting range, where
I,
it's just like,
I was gonna say, like, what are you planning on doing with them?
I would like to use them for like if I want to record myself driving. Like if I want to record
Okay.
myself driving my car, or I go to the shooting range and I want to like, just be able to like, I don't maybe live stream. I don't know. Like I legitimately don't know what the actual practical use case of these things are.
Okay.
I just know that I have a gift card. I want to use my gift card. I do want to try these things because I have heard that they are actually pretty good. So like I've read reviews about them and watched other people use them, and they look pretty cool. And I think having a nice pair of like blue lens, blue light filtered glasses are important because a friend of the show, John Krebs, is married to a doctor of optometry, and
Mm.
she continually touts the benefits of having blue light filter on everything, especially when you're heavy computer users like us. So
Okay.
I mean, just for that factor alone, having a nice pair of like blue light filter glasses would be nice. So yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to get them if they let me buy them or they order enough of them and have them in stock for me to buy. Yeah, I would love to buy these things.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah, so I was mad about that.
yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
Y-
What
Yep.
else you mad about?
I'm not mad about anything else, but
Okay.
one other quick little piece of follow up here. Let me just put a note in the show notes here. Ray Ban update. Drew is mad, and then the other one was
I just watched this video.
the TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, this is again a little bit of follow up
Yep. Yep.
because we talked about Starry, also
Mm-hmm.
for the soda formerly known as Sierra Mist. And at the time, we were sort of like, we sort of had the story about how like it's Pepsi, right? Like it was a Pepsi brand, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
a Pepsi brand. There was some sort of thing where they did this drastic rebranding of it, and we knew that there was more to the story. Well, I stumbled upon, and I don't want to get into how I stumbled upon the actual content creator known as Sierra Mist. Sierra
Mm-hmm.
with a C, by the way.
Yes. Yep.
So Sierra Mist is the name of the person. Let's just say personality
Mm-hmm.
who makes videos. And she basically spilled the whole tea about like what happened. And again, there'll be a link in the show notes to the TikTok. If you're not on TikTok or you are worried about the Chinese government spying on you, basically what the gist of the story was, and we had it pretty close. Pepsi
Yeah.
had the trademark
Uh-huh.
on the brand Sierra Mist.
Mm-hmm.
They sent a cease and desist letter to the actress, I'm sorry, personality known
Uh-huh.
as Sierra Mist with a C, which is a
Mm-hmm.
completely different name, which is
Mm-hmm.
weird. And then when they got the letter, her lawyers basically looked into it and said, yeah, there is a trademark, but it's expired, so we're going to buy it.
Yep.
And then she became the trademark Sierra Mist, and then Pepsi had to change the name. So that TikTok is a riveting watch. It's actually funny to see her
it
explain
is.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to follow up on that. Okay. With all that shit out of the way, you and I have some updates here.
We do. Where do you want to start? Where do you want to start?
I want to start. I think we just go in the order that the spirit has moved us to go in.
Okay.
I don't understand. Oh, actually, now I understand.
Now you understand.
Now that I see what you linked. Mm-hmm. Okay, weirdo, what'd you
do? After all of these years of iPhone usage, I have finally changed the default browser on my phone away from Safari to something new. And of course, my hipster browser company, Arc. Actually, I think they're called the browser company, but they make the Arc browsers. They created a product called Arc Search, which is a mobile web browser, and it is for the phone. It is fantastic. It's fantastic, Drew. It's awesome. Now, why is it awesome? You say, well, like everything in 2024, it's because it's got AI built into it. It's got AI. They realize that when you're on your phone, the most common use case for your browser is basically searching for something, right?
Accurate.
Like, yes, you have something you want to look up, and that's what Arc Search is optimized for. So it's got a couple of really interesting features. One is called Browse For Me, and it's really good. So basically, you type in a search term like, I don't know, Sierra Mist. And instead of hitting enter, you hit Browse For Me, and then it uses the magic of generative AIs and surfs. It basically picks usually like five different websites out there that are good search hits for that, summarizes all of it, and gives you a little web page that's a summary of all these different websites together in one page.
Not to interrupt you, but this is something that was part of the Arc browser already, the actual full fat Arc browser.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And also, what's really nice, they just added this feature. But if you're on a web page, just a regular web page, and you're like, oh my god, this is just too much to read because I'm lazy, you can literally like use your fingers and like zoom out, and it kind of pops the web page into a thumbnail and then summarizes it for you like in a paragraph, and it's fantastic. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other features. It's got tabs, but there's like no bookmarks, there's no favorites. It's really designed, when they say search, Arc Search, that's really what it's for. It's for opening things up and doing searching. But the summary tools and stuff, it just made me like, oh, that's just too many words to read. Pinch. Oh, nice little summary. It's great. I like it so much that I actually changed the default browser on my phone. So now Arc Search is my default, and it's Arc all the way down, baby. It's good. Everyone should try it. Even if you don't like the Arc web browser on desktop, give it Arc, at least install Arc Search, have it on your phone, give it a try. I'm here to say it's really good. It's really good.
So, okay. A couple things. These days, every web browser is just a user interface on top of a browser engine, like, something like WebKit or Chromium or something like that, right? Because that's how Edge works. Safari is all WebKit, and I don't know what Firefox and I think Chrome is Chromium. Chrome is Chrome, but then So I guess this is a web browser in the sense that it is something you use to browse the web, but what rendering engine is it using?
Well, like everything on iOS, it uses Safari because
so it's all Safari.
That's the only, even Chrome and Firefox on iPhone use WebKit because Apple requires that.
Okay.
You cannot use a third party rendering engine on iOS. Well,
Okay.
you'll be able to in Europe soon.
Yeah, that's and listen to other podcasts to understand the nuance behind that, because I don't even want to touch that topic.
Nope.
So
mm-hmm.
in the link that you sent me,
mm-hmm.
There were some other links on that page that take me to the App Store.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And first of all, this is number 68 in utilities right now.
Mm-hmm.
It has very good reviews.
It does. It's because it's a good application.
But I can't help but notice there's one thing on this page that jumps out at me.
Okay.
This app is free. Have they not figured it out how you can give them money yet?
No. No. No.
Okay. Because like AI isn't free.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a computer somewhere.
I know.
That they're paying for.
I know.
Maybe.
I know. They are. I mean, they are. They do have articles about how they're thinking about monetizing. I just wish, like, it makes me nervous when I really love products by a company and they're just a pure startup just burning through VC capital. Like, have a business model, please. Let me give you money.
Yeah, that like, the reason for that is that you very passionately pled that, like, you would love to give them money.
Yes,
even a donation.
Yeah,
and yet,
like sell me a goddamn t-shirt. I don't care.
Right. This app is free. Mm-hmm. It's not free with in-app purchases. It's free. As in beer.
It's free. Yep.
So everything you just said does not cost any additional capital or money on
that. Is true. Yes.
That is ridiculous. Like, they could easily charge for that.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Like they could easily do a subscription model through the App Store to pay for this.
Yeah. I would
pay. Have they said why?
No. I mean, I want to see if I can find there's somewhere they have an article about how they're going to make money. Let's ask the internet.
Ask your fancy browser. If it knows everything.
There we go. How does the browser company make money? Hold on. There's a video. There is a video. Well, that's way too loud. Okay. I will put this in. I'll put this into the. I mean, I think the summary is something. We're gonna find a way to charge enterprises for team features. There you go. But the corollary to this, Drew, and what makes me mad is because of this, I kind of got to be in my bonnet to kind of reorganize all of the apps and icons on widgets on my iOS home screen. And okay. I don't know if you've tried to do a full, like, it's annoying enough to move one icon from one page to another.
You were declaring home screen bankruptcy and you were starting over.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, yeah, exactly. I wanted wholesale changes, a whole rethink. It's awful, Drew. It's so hard.
It really is. So let me ask you a question. So you were unhappy with the amount of icons or the way that you had your icons grouped on your iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things here that I think maybe I'm the only one that's curious about this, but I guess I want to compare notes here. My first question for you is this: do you have widgets on your home screen?
I did. Wait, hold on. Yes, I do.
So in the space where there could be icons for apps, you have a widget.
I used to have 2. Now I just have 1.
Which one?
So it is actually a stack. It is a widget stack. It can be I use an app called Parcel to track deliveries because I get a lot of shit sent to the house. Mm-hmm. That has a widget. I've got a Spotify widget in there. I've got my to-do app Todoist widget in there. And I've got the weather widget. So it can be any of those 4 widgets depending on how
big.
It's the 2x4, so it takes up 8 icons.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the only widget I have on my home screen is a 2x2 weather.
Okay.
That's it.
I used to have a 2x4 like this stack, and then I also had the Siri suggestions 2x4, which is a great widget.
It is a great widget, actually.
But I wanted I wanted a little bit more consistency, so I got rid of that one.
Now, before you reorganized, how many pages of apps did you have?
4.
4.
4.
And on those 4 pages, how many groups or like sub stacks did you have of apps?
You mean like folders in there?
Yeah. Folders. Sorry, folders.
I mean, I've got a couple. I got a folder where I put my games. That's really it. Yeah. Well,
All
that's
right.
not true. Because on my front screen now, I have folders for like social and video apps. I'm not happy with my home screen at all, Drew. I'm like, I got like 1/3 way through my rebuild and just said fuck it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the experience though, because it is quite finicky.
It is. Oh, like,
so like what were you having trouble with? Just like the actual act of getting it to edit and the act of dragging? Or?
So getting it into like wiggle mode is fine, right? But like the number one issue I had is like, okay, so you have an icon you want to move from like your third home screen to your first. And you want it to put it in between these two other icons, right? You have a vision. It's going to go in the middle of these two icons. So you grab it and you scroll to you put your finger on it, you hold it down, you scroll, you go to the first page, and you kind of get it. And like the precision you need with a big old fat sausage finger to get it to drop in between those two and not create a folder is infuriating. I don't know how many times there's like, no, I don't want a folder. No, stop that. No, bad. Or like you drop it in the wrong place, and mostly it's the damn folder thing. I don't know whether it's just me, but like my sausage fingers cannot get icons in the right place without it wanting to combine the two icons into a folder.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem I have with it is that it's a little bit laggy. Like as you're dragging something and you think it's going to go where it's going to go, there's like this 0.5 to 1 second delay, at least on my phone. And like I don't have an old iPhone, but I don't have the newest iPhone. So I don't know if it's better on newer models, but like as you're trying to move that icon to the new place that you want it, it's almost like the phone sort of thinks about it, and then like it has to like render the other icons sort of shimmying to the left or the right, like cha-cha style, to like get out of the way, or it thinks that it's going to go into the folder where it's going to go. Now, Paul, I got to ask you. You're a pretty regimented gentleman. You're very particular. You like the things the way you like them.
I do. Yes.
And that is not a bad thing. The question to you is this: why are you not able to adopt a one screen lifestyle?
I may go down to 2 screens and search for everything else.
I guess we should say pages. I think pages is the correct word.
I might go down to 2 pages and search. I mean, I already have a lot of apps that aren't on any home screens that I have to search for anyway. And I could just like, I thought about oops all widgets and just search for everything except for the things in my dock. I guess it's muscle memory. I like the idea of going, okay, I want to launch this app. I swipe over one, it's the third icon at the top, boom, go. I don't even have to think about it. And it's always there. I don't have to worry about like if I'm doing a search, making a typo and like, oh, my thumb's in the wrong place and I just typed a bunch of W's when I wanted to type E's. But I don't know. I would try more things if it was easier to do. Like, do you remember way back in the day of like early iPhones, and you grab your 30-pin connector and you'd plug it into the bottom and you'd launch iTunes? And
Yeah, there used to be a way to do that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And iTunes had a little way for you to reorganize your home screen, and you could use a mouse, and it was great. And they should do
Yeah.
that again,
Yeah.
because it's.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess if you were going to be so drastic as to go down to that, I mean, I think the answer is probably just like start deleting stuff, right? Like just start removing apps. Because one thing that I will say that, again, to kind of give you my philosophy on like how my phone is laid out, I am exactly one page of apps right now. And I have folders in here to group apps together. Because like when I get right down to it, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 apps on my home screen that get used extremely frequently. And they are my Gmail app, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and the app that I use to register for a class for my gym. Twitter/X has been demoted. Blue Sky is there. I'm on it a little bit, but by and large, most of my... Oh, and TikTok. Sorry. TikTok is also one that gets launched quite a bit. Everything else is just superlative. So like, but that doesn't mean that I don't like having them on the home screen. Like there are like first ballot Hall of Famers that belong on my home screen. And like one of my hard and fast rules for my home screen is my settings app has to be the last app on the page. So like on my main screen, the settings app is in the lower right-hand side.
See,
right?
my settings app is not on my first screen.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, you're a serial killer. But like my calendar, and likewise, my calendar app is in the upper right-hand side of my screen because it's like right at the very top of the screen, like not on the same side as the clock, which I guess if I was going to be like super anal retentive about it, like that's where I would put it. But my calendar app is in the upper right-hand side of my screen. So if I'm on my home screen, I have access to the clock, I have access to the weather, I have access to what the day of the week is, like what the actual date is. Boom. Like very, very efficient. I get that all on my main screen. Things like my camera, there's like that is another app that lives, very like present on my home screen. Now, like where things get a little bit weird, and if I was going to like optimize this even more, is I have the Google Maps app and I have the Apple Maps app, because there was a time where the Apple Maps app was not very good. It is good now. So I could probably get rid of the Google Maps app because like when I'm in my car and I'm using CarPlay, it's what it defaults to. I can use Waze, I can use Google Maps. Like
here's my comment on that. I use Apple Maps for navigation because it's better and it's actually designed by someone who is sane.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm in an area and I don't like, I want to say, what are the restaurants near me?
That's fair.
I'll go to Google Maps for that.
That's fair. And quite frankly, I don't use Google Maps for that. I launch a web browser and I type like Chipotle nearby. That is a safe search. That is a safe search for me. And then it like sort of goes to the Google Maps app somehow.
Oh.
Okay. So like that's why there's 2 still map apps on there.
You probably could ask Siri, like, hey Siri, directions to the nearest Chipotle.
Yeah, I don't want to wait 6 days for an answer. Yeah, so everything else is a folder. So like I have a folder labeled lifestyle, and like that's where all my banking apps live, and PayPal and like Fidelity and like Lyft and Uber and like shit like that, right? And then I have an entertainment one where like some of the streaming apps and Plex and like my e-reader and Steam and gaming related apps live. I have my utilities folder, which like has like all my camera stuff and Nest and 1Password and all that other shit, right? And then just like a catch-all one for like extras where like the clock, calculator, compass, notes, like health, like all that shit lives, right? And the most recent addition to my home screen is I have a special folder for vehicles, because I now have 2 vehicles that have apps, because that's the world we live in now. And on my bottom, my big bottom bar, is my phone, Gmail, Outlook, because that's work email, and then Safari. And then my messages
dock?
app is at the very top. Yeah, at the dock.
Okay.
Yeah. Messages.
I have 2 folders on my first page. I don't think I like folders.
They are a means to an end. Now, the reason I bring all that up is, and I forget what iOS update this happened in, is now you can remove apps from your screen but still have them
Yeah.
installed.
Yes. I have a lot of apps in that particular state. Yeah.
So like for instance, like I don't launch like what's an example of an app icon on here that like here's a good one, right? The Marriott Bonvoy app. Like that's an app for like a loyalty rewards program for Marriott. I really like staying at Marriott. I might stay at a Marriott 5 times a year. I don't necessarily need that app prominently saved in a folder 100% of the time. So like that's a great candidate to just get the icon off my phone. If I need to get to that app, I'll swipe down, I'll go to search, I'll type Bonvoy.
Yeah.
Right. Like that kind of shit, I think you could, if you were to embrace maybe that workflow, I feel like you could get there pretty quick.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. It's just I don't know. I'm not sold because sometimes I type wrong and then and then
Sure.
it's not there and I'm like shit, and then I have to delete and change it and
man,
yeah, I don't know.
That's a lot of apps though, bud.
I know. Ugh.
But like if you were to really sit down and think like what are the ones that you hit every day? Like what are the apps you hit every day?
So the apps I hit every day. So this is kind of a good little look into Paul's home screen here. I've got my phone app. I've got the clock app because I use it to to wake myself up in the morning.
Yep.
I have photos and camera. I have my to-do app, Todoist. I have my notes app, Bear. The next one is a relatively new addition. We now subscribe to Life 360 so we can track my son when he goes places.
Right.
Spotify. I have Safari on my home screen. That may disappear. I've got the Arc Sync app, which syncs the bookmarks from Sync. I have the Copilot app because if you're looking to do ChatGPT stuff for free, speaking of things that cost money, Copilot from Microsoft is a really good app for that. I've got my Maps app, and then I've got some folders for social media, folder for videos, and in my dock, like a gentleman, I have Messages, Overcast, Arc Search, and Mail.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
and I have a Minesweeper app on my homepage because I play Minesweeper because I'm old. There you go.
I don't think that's necessarily a sign of age. I think Minesweeper is a perfectly respectable, good time waster. I'm more of a solitaire guy, but like I no shame, like no shame in a Minesweeper app.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but solitaire is my go-to for that. Man, that's tough, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could get there. Like if I was gonna like say one thing I wish I could wish for you is you could get it down to one page.
I think
it's so awesome not having to swipe left and right to find something or hit an icon.
I think I may end up. My goal is really to get 2 pages, but the thing is, I don't like folders and I don't like search. I don't know. Like I would like to have 1 page and then like my second page be work, like all of my work apps, my work calendar on another page. Like, I think that's
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, I guess I am being a little bit biased because I have a whole separate phone for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I guess technically I'm on a second page because it's a different phone. But even then, like the only apps I use on that are like Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, Google Mail, Google Calendar. Those are the only things I really use on my other phone. Sometimes I text from there if a customer does have like my cell phone number, like sometimes they'll text me or something, but that's they know not to do that unless it's like dire.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not support. Well, buddy, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, editing it is a giant pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like the anxiety that I get is when there is some new app that I want to try.
Mm-hmm.
By default, it will go to the second page on my phone, and that
you can turn that off and have it go right to like the app library, so it's not on a home screen. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think so. Shit, where is that? I know it's in settings somewhere. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me search. Newly. Okay. Yep. In the home screen option. Yep. So right from home screen and app library, there's an option. The very first one, newly downloaded apps, add to home screen or app library only.
And then if you like it, see, here's the problem I have with that though. I feel like I'll try a new game from like Apple Arcade or something, and I'll forget it's installed if I don't physically do something with that icon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like I think that's cool. I think that's a cool thing to be able to control. I don't know if I could turn that on without my anal retentive like storage brain kicking in. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, editing the home screen is a giant pain in the ass, and I do miss the. I mean, I don't even. I think there's a whole generation of people. I mean, not our listeners because we don't have listeners. But there's a whole generation of people who probably have never had to use iTunes.
Yeah. I mean, you're not missing much, but
there was a time where iTunes was legitimately good software, I think.
Yeah, but
in the iPod days.
Yeah, they just kept adding things to it, and it was a tradition. Like, it got real bloated because it was music, it was iPhone stuff. It was, I remember, like, you have to plug it. It used to be how you updated your phone.
Yes,
was through iTunes.
Yes.
Then movies and television and podcasts and. Yeah.
And now it's just on Macs at least, it's just built into the OS. Like if I want to take an iPhone backup or anything like that.
Yeah, this isn't Finder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, boy. Man. Well, buddy, I mean, I hope that it gets better for you.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe iOS 18, maybe whatever AI they cram into the iPhone can do it for me. Hey Siri, reorganize my home screen.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so great. Like being able to do a voice command that immediately removes all icons, and you could just like start over, like declare bankruptcy.
Yep. Yeah. Just start over.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Any other comments about that before I tell you about my crazy week?
No, I want to hear about your crazy week, Drew.
All right, so we're recording this on a Saturday, as we sometimes do when one of us is busy during the week. And I'll talk more about the day adjustment here, but I got to go to the hospital this past week.
Oh, are you okay?
I am perfectly fine.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a hot lead.
Okay.
But so here's what happened.
Okay.
I thought that I had broken my ankle.
Oh no.
Yeah. So at the gym I go to, I go to Friendship Fitness, which I'm getting ready to celebrate my 10-year anniversary there. I'm super pumped about that. That'll be a whole separate podcast topic for another day. But anyway, I was there working out last. What day was that? Last Friday. And I was scheduled to go out of town the day after President's Day, which would have been the week that we're recording this now. So the workouts at my gym are broken up into two parts. I did the first part of the workout, and we were just getting ready to start the second part of the workout. And that required me to go get a medicine ball. And the medicine balls in our gym are stored on a shelf over on one side of the gym. So I had finished putting all the weights away that I was using for the first part of the workout, and I walked over to get the medicine ball. And I'm a shorter gentleman, and all of the lower balls were already taken. So I had to sort of like try to like not climb the shelf, but get some elevation under me to where I could comfortably reach this 20-pound medicine ball.
On your tippy toes?
So normally, yes. Okay. But this time I decided to stand on a sandbag that was nearby.
Oh.
So okay. I stood on a sandbag, and it was stable. The sandbag wasn't moving because it's full of sand, and it adjusted to like the shape of the floor. So I wasn't teetering on this thing. It wasn't like an unsafe situation by any stretch. Like I just was literally standing on it to reach the medicine ball better. So I pick up the medicine ball, and then I turn around to step down off of the sandbag. And as I'm doing so, also nearby were some kettlebells that were on the floor, and they weren't like strewn about, like they weren't put away incorrectly or anything like that. That's just where the kettlebells are. Especially the heavier kettlebells are stored on the floor, and then on some of the shelves are stored other kettlebells. So I turned around, stepped down off the sandbag, and immediately tripped over a kettlebell. So like my body was already like laterally moving and stepping down, and then I tripped over the kettlebell. And my foot turned in. And I mean, I think everybody has rolled their ankles at various points in their life. Like that sucks and it hurts. This felt different. Like I felt my ankle pop. I thought I heard a crack, and I went down hard. Like I went down real hard. And the pain was immediate. I was like, fuck, this is it. I did it. I finally broke a bone, like achievement unlocked. Like I thought for sure that I had broken my ankle. And like I was like rolling around on the floor.
So which ankle was it? Was it your driving ankle or your
It is my driving ankle.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
That's so much
so
worse.
I was in immense pain. So the coach, Coach Andy, who's a listener, came over. He asked me, what happened, because I don't think he saw what happened. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I felt it pop. I felt it pop. Like that was the only thing I could say, because I knew that it was going to be bad. So he and another person in the class came over, helped me to my feet, and like I couldn't put any weight on it at all. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm so fucked. So like they helped me out of the main gym area and over to the lobby where there's some chairs. And I sat down and I took my shoe off, and like it was already a little bit swollen. And they brought me some ice, and I was like, go take care of the class. Like there's literally nothing to do here. Like I'm not going to call an ambulance. Like it's not like a life-threatening thing. I was like, go take care of the rest of the class. I'm just going to sit here and ice this. And he came back and checked on me as they were finishing the rest of the workout and everything. And like, there's a woman who's a coach there who's also a physical therapist. And the coach had like texted her, and she's texting me like, what happened? Like, where does it hurt? And like, she gave me a couple things to do, like, rotate it, see if you can move it, see if you can like, get some dorsal flexion or like some flexion in your ankle to see if you can like do it. And like at first it was really hard, but then it started to like move a little bit, but I was still having a real hard time walking. And like trying to get my shoe back on was like was really spicy. So eventually got to the point, like class was over. I'd been icing it. I had elevated it, like put it up on like a table in the lobby. And it was to the point where it was like, it really, really hurt, but I felt confident that I was going to be able to drive home.
Okay.
So I walked out to my car, got in my truck, and like I drove home. And like it hurt to like press the gas pedal and like the brake and everything. And like there was an extra degree of difficulty because we got all that snow Friday night. So like I was taking it extra slow, because what I didn't want to have to do is like try to slam on a brake, because I feel like the sudden movement would have been like pretty bad.
Yeah, that would have been ouchy. Yeah.
Yeah, and with anti-lock brakes, you're supposed to like stand on the brakes if they start to go. So like I was like, this could be really bad in a big hurry if I'm not like super careful. So I got home, and the coaches had told me to, take some Advil, keep it elevated, ice it, all that stuff. And I did that. And it was still kind of painful. And they said that, if I was still having a lot of pain, that I should get it looked at. So I tried to go to bed. I was able to fall asleep, because I think the Advil was kind of working its way through my system. But then like in the middle of the night, I woke up, and it hurt like really bad, because like I'm not a person who sleeps on his back. So like there was no way for me to keep it elevated, and like Rocky's always under there moving around under the covers. So like I couldn't get comfortable, and like it was like 3 a.m. So like I whipped out my phone, I went to the Ohio Health My Chart website, and like the nice thing about Ohio Health, which is the big health network here in Central Ohio, is that if you want to go to their urgent care, you can actually book an appointment in advance. Like you could roll the dice and you could show up in the waiting room, but they also let you book an appointment. So I was able to book an appointment for 11 a.m. Saturday. So I tried to go back to bed. I really couldn't. I went out to the couch and like propped some pillows up on the couch and just like watched Suits, which I want to talk about that at some point. But started watching that show, and I just kind of laid there for a while. And like Mandy eventually got up, and I'm like, hey, would you mind taking me to the urgent care at 11? Like, I want to go have someone look at this. So like right at 9 o'clock, my phone rings, and it's the urgent care here in Dublin. And they're like, hey, Mr. Ferguel, we saw that you booked an appointment for 11 today. Is that correct? And I'm like, yeah. And it goes, I'm looking at the reason for your visit. It says you have some ankle pain. I'm assuming you want to have like an x-ray or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what I did. It really hurts. I don't know if it's sprained or if I fractured it or, whatever. And they're like, well, our x-ray machine's broken.
Oh.
And she's like,
at least they let you know.
Which awesome, right? Like I did not, and not that I would have had to have driven far, but it definitely saved me a trip. And she was like super nice about it. She was like, I can get you an appointment at either Hilliard or Polaris because they have availability today and like they should be able to take care of you. I was like, okay, so what are the availabilities? And like she was able to see it. Computers are awesome. Like everything's a database, right? Like everything's cool. So there was another appointment at noon, at like 10 a.m. at Polaris. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Cause I want to get this looked at like right now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want it to get worse. So then she booked it. And then like 20 minutes later, my phone rings again.
Oh no.
And now it's the Polaris one. And I guess because of the snow, their like imaging specialist or the person who runs the x-ray machine wasn't there. So they couldn't take care of me. And like, I'm just like, all right, well, what about Hilliard? Well, Hilliard didn't have any appointments the rest of the day. Like I would have to like roll the dice and go down to Hilliard and get in line. And I was like, I looked at Mandy and I was like, just take me to the emergency room. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I just want to go explain what happened, have them do an x-ray. I just want to know like how bad this is. Cause it was still like kind of hurting. So Dublin Methodist Hospital is literally across the street from the urgent care that I go to. So again, really nice. Totally blessed to live here in Dublin for those kind of reasons. So we go to the emergency room. She drops me off, and like there's people there that have like bandages up to their head, that, like holding their blood in, right? Like there's like, pregnant people in there, and I'm like, and I'm just like hobbling in because like I rolled my ankle, right? And I'm just like, and like people are walking in, and I'm like, you go ahead, you go first. Like I'm in no hurry here, right? Like Mandy dropped me off, I wasn't gonna make her wait. So like people are literally holding their organs in, and I'm just like, you guys go ahead. Like I felt so guilty. Like it's clearly not an emergency, but like I really didn't have a lot of other options. Which also, by the way, like this is way more expensive than going to the urgent care. By the way, at least for my health plan, like it costs a lot more money. Being on a high deductible plan, like going to the emergency room is not cheap. Like with co-insurance and all that other stuff, like I'm gonna be cringing when I finally get this bill. But I really, really wanted to figure out what's going on. So like eventually, I get admitted. They called me back. You know, I had to sit in the little like emergency room thing for a while. And what was really cool is every other time I've been to the emergency room where I've had to get like an MRI or an x-ray or something, like they take you someplace to get that done. Yeah. Now the x-rays come to you.
Yeah, they have those portable ones. Yeah.
Which was nuts. Like they didn't put an apron on me. Like she literally like aimed the crosshair at my foot. And she's like, all right, well, we'll let you know. Like that was like pretty much it. So I was there a while, and eventually like the person who reviewed the images wasn't there. Like it was like someone down at Riverside. Like it's all electronic. Like again, computers are awesome. So they took all the pictures and they looked at it and they said, yeah, it looks like a really bad sprain. We don't see any cracks or fractures. I mean, she said that based on the angle and the place where I injured it, there still is the possibility of there being like a hairline fracture, but nothing showed up on the images. So like they gave me some like really interesting ace bandages to wrap it with, and then like a splint. And like when I had all of those things applied to my foot, like none of my shoes fit. So like there was no way for me to put my shoe back on with that thing on, and like I had to travel this week, so I knew it was just going to be crazy. But yeah, that was my great big rolled ankle thing. It's still pretty painful. Like I said, I traveled this week, and you know, because I had to like kind of get dressed up for that stuff. Like, you know, they offered me crutches, and I said no. I did like just wrap it, keep it elevated. You know, they gave me some like prescription grade ibuprofen to take, and I was on my way. But it was bad, dude. Like in the process of falling down, like feeling my ankle pop.
Gross.
It was real bad, man. I was legitimately scared because like I've rolled my ankle hundreds of times. Like I think we all have. And it sucks and it hurts, but I never that bad. And like there was this guy that I work out with, Eddie, who like saw the whole thing, and like he was like, oh shit, like he saw how hard I went down. Like that was his first reaction. It was It was something else, buddy. So that was one of my big adventures from the week.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's oh
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
still like now it's finally starting to like bruise a little bit, but it is still kind of swollen, so I don't really know what's going on
Yeah.
with it.
And you just hope like it heals and like you don't have this lingering injury for
Well,
ever. Yeah.
yeah, so like that was it. Like I got back from my trip Thursday night and I really wanted to work out Friday, but I looked at the workout we were going to be doing and the fact that it was still a little tender, I was like, I better just not. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping by Monday that I'll be in a place where I can either modify the workout or maybe it won't be still as quite as sore and maybe I'll be able to do something. But yeah, man, it sucks, especially because like I was the reason that makes it extra kind of like bittersweet too is like I've been sort of crushing it at the gym. Like I hit a couple good PRs in the past few weeks. Like I even hit a PR for my clean and jerk like right before that accident happened. So like I was like feeling great. Like there's literally a video of me like hitting this new PR and like looking at the camera and saying fuck yes. Like I was feeling so good. And then like immediately I turn around and just trip over spoon. Like it's just like it's not even like a cool way to
Oh
get hurt. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
like it's embarrassing, it's frustrating, like just all those things rolled into one.
That sucks. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
I feel bad for you, Drew. I feel bad.
Well, I was feeling bad for myself too.
Okay.
But I got to do something that I have been wanting to do for a while. And I
Okay.
finally got to cross it off my list this week.
And what did you get to do?
I got to go to a Buc-ees.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so my trip this week was to Tennessee.
Okay.
And it was like a whirlwind trip because like we had Monday off because of President's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was scheduled to be in Nashville Tuesday night. So we were meeting some people for dinner in Nashville Tuesday night. Um and then after that we were going to go from Nashville to Chattanooga, Tennessee for an on-site like big all-day meeting. So drive to Nashville Tuesday, spend the night, drive from Nashville to Chattanooga, take a couple meetings, go out to a dinner, and then have a full day of meetings on site in Chattanooga, and then drive home from there. Now, Tennessee is an interesting state to get to from Ohio because there's just not a lot of good flight options. Like to get to a city like Nashville, if you want to fly, like I think maybe Southwest has a direct, but Chattanooga's even worse. Like there is just no way to get to and from Chattanooga that you're not going to spend like time in an airport, time in a layover, and then like getting to and from an airport, right? So
Okay.
it's literally 6 hours from like Columbus to Nashville, which is like just like perfect maximum driving range that I would want to do for a business trip. If I was going to go to Chicago or I was going to go to St. Louis or some other place that was 6 hours, I would have no problem flying. And even being a nervous flyer, like those are big cities. There are obviously really easy flights from Columbus to those locations. Like that's not a big deal. But this is like I-71 the whole way to Louisville and then to Nashville, right? Like it's a pretty easy drive. Plus, I had people coming in from other parts of the country that were flying into Nashville, and we would still need a way to get from Nashville to Chattanooga, which is like a 2-hour drive. So, like, I just said, you know what? I'll drive. It's not a big deal, and then I'll be responsible for getting us all from Nashville to Chattanooga and then driving home. Now, Chattanooga to Columbus is 7 hours, so it's a little bit further. It's east of Nashville if you're looking at it on a map. But it's still a relatively straight shot. So to drive from Columbus to Nashville, like I said, I just get on 71. You go to Cincinnati, 71 and 75 become one. Once you get into Kentucky across the river there, 71 veers off towards Louisville. 75 keeps going to like Lexington and then eventually to places like Chattanooga and other places. So made it to Nashville, no problem. You know, spent the night, had dinner, whatnot. Drove to Chattanooga, which that was a crazy fun drive because it's really hilly and really steep. And as we were coming down this hill, like we obviously saw a lot of trucks that were like cooking their brakes, you know?
Yeah.
And then like there was this one car that was like driving on the median, and we're like, what is going on? And then we realized the car didn't have brakes. So this woman was like just careening down this mountainside, like in the median, like trying to coast to a stop at the bottom. It was crazy to watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I drove home from Chattanooga Thursday night. I got a little bit of a later start.
With your ankle, or is this before or after the ankle?
This is after the ankle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're driving with
Yeah, driving with a hurt ankle, driving all the way from Chattanooga back to Columbus. And again, for those of you that don't know, Buc-ees is it started out as like this like almost like guerrilla marketing on social media of like people calling it bussies. But it is Buc-ees, and their mascot is a beaver.
Mm-hmm.
And it is known as like almost like a tourist trap disguised as a travel plaza is like the best way to describe it. Have you been, by the way?
I yes, I've been to one.
Okay, so you've been to Buc-ees.
What's amazing about these is they're huge.
They're massive. I had no I knew it was big.
And
it's huge.
You would think something that big would be a truck stop.
It's not.
But it's not.
It's definitely not.
In fact, it's basically like no semis allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, long story short, like in all of my driving, and I'm a Midwestern boy, like growing up when we would do road trips or go on vacation, we never flew anywhere. We drove everywhere. We couldn't afford to fly. Like we just drove everywhere, whether it was SeaWorld, Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head, Atlantic City, Virginia Beach. Like we just drove everywhere. So that is like part of like my identity, part of my DNA. So I have been on the road, and like if you're ever on a highway that has a remote chance of taking you to a Buc-ees, you will absolutely see a billboard saying like Buc-ees, like X miles away, right? And I have flirted with going to a Buc-ees for like the last 2 years. Like every time I've been on a road trip, like when I was driving home and we recorded that awful podcast, like there were several signs for Buc-ees, but it was always like after like some other junction that I needed to take. You know what I mean? Like I would have to like veer off the interstate that I was on for a different interstate, and the Buc-ees was on the other one, and I just never went that way. But lo and behold, there is a Buc-ees just outside of Lexington, Kentucky. And Lexington, Kentucky is about 3 hours from Columbus. Now, I came home mostly on Interstate 75 from Chattanooga. And there is a spot in Kentucky. I think the actual name of the city is Richmond, Kentucky. It is right off Interstate 75. And I saw signs for it. I started to see signs for it in Knoxville, Tennessee. But again, I had to get off the interstate. And I'm like, man, I'm going to fucking miss a Buc-ees again. But then as I was on 75, after I got around Knoxville, started to see signs again. And I'm like, oh shit, I might actually get to go to one of these things. Mm-hmm. So sure enough, I was driving. It was dark. I saw the signs and I turned off at the right place. And just like, it's a poorly lit interstate, and then you get off the exit and it's just there. Like it's just this massive floodlight.
They don't skimp on the lighting. That's for damn sure.
They do not skimp on the lighting. It is so well lit. Like, first of all, as you approach, what also becomes very apparent to you, because all you ever really see, if you've ever seen videos about Buc-ees, is people going inside and seeing all the shit inside the store. Mm-hmm. But it really must be said, I have never at any travel plaza or any place I've ever stopped seen so many goddamn gas pumps.
Yeah, they usually have way more than you think. Like I'm gonna say like 80 or some shit like that. It's ridiculous.
I think I counted 60, and okay. I think I probably miscounted. Like there was probably more than 60 gas pumps. And here's the other wild thing. Every single one of them was full.
Here from the internet, the average number of gas pumps for Buc-ees is around 100.
I believe it. I believe it. 100. Think about logistically, if you've ever been to a gas station, and there's usually what, 4, maybe 8 pumps on a bigger gas station.
Yeah.
Imagine 100, and they're all covered, right? It's not like they're out in the open. They're all covered.
Yep.
Right. Now every single gas pump that I drove past was occupied.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I didn't need gas right that particular minute. Because, I mean, here's the thing, right? Somebody got gas, and then they're going to spend the next 30 minutes inside that store, right? Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, exactly.
So I parked my truck. Now, I had eaten lunch at noon. This was like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm a little hungry. I'd been on the road for a while. I was a little weary. I needed some caffeine, right? So I go in there, and first of all, that place is so well kept. First of all, it must be said.
They're known for
everybody that works there. Everybody that works there is super nice. It's very clean. The bathrooms were immaculate. Given the amount of traffic and the amount of people and the amount of gross human that's traversing this Buc-ees, it is immaculate. Like, they have an army of people that I think that keep this thing clean, first of all. And you know what? God bless them, because it was really, really nice. And everybody in there was super nice. I got Mandy a little souvenir. I got her the little Bucky Beaver like plushie thing. Okay. I got her a box of the Beaver Buddies animal crackers. And then the other thing that Buc-ees is kind of known for is they're known for their beef jerky. Mm-hmm. They're also known for their nuts. But I didn't get any of those. But what I did try was some of their barbecue.
Oh, yeah, because they have like a hot food. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. And that caught me off guard, because I was just going to stop, like nearby Chipotle search. Like that. Like I was just going to do that and stop and get like a burrito bowl somewhere. But I walked in, and like right there in the middle of the store, there's like basically, I mean, I'm going to call it a carving station, is that's what it looked like. Like, they were carving up brisket and barbecue and other shit over there. So I just got myself a little sandwich, and it was delightful. It was actually really, really good. But they also had like the cashews and some of the other nuts and stuff that they smelled delicious. But I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm already eating kind of shitty this week. Like, I don't need that in my life. Or I would have gladly tried that stuff. But I did, because like one sandwich wasn't gonna be enough to like really satisfy me. So like, I had heard that they had like really good beef jerky. So like, first of all, the sheer volume of beef jerky in that store is a little intimidating. And they have so many different flavors. And I'm just like kind of flipping through the different ones, and I'm like, I'll just try this one. I didn't like it. It was like some kind of mesquite. I want to say it was like mesquite cherry or something like that. It wasn't for me. I should have just got like a teriyaki or just a plain or something like that, or something peppered. I don't know. Like, it wasn't very good. I only had a couple pieces of it, and I think I ended up throwing the rest away. Like, it just wasn't very good. But yeah, I got to go to Buc-ees.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I got some energy drinks and some water, and just kind of browsed the store for a little bit. It was nice to like stretch my legs after being on the road for a while, and it definitely lived up to the hype. So where does the one you went to?
When they go to Myrtle Beach, they usually stop at one. I can't remember where it is where we've been to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because
again, all the times that I've driven to South Carolina, I've never been on a highway that has had it. So maybe you guys go a different way than me.
Yeah. And like, because I mean, I think the big draw is the bathrooms are clean. So
yeah. But you know, I encourage you that if you don't really know like the Buc-ees lifestyle and sort of what it is, like it is definitely a southern thing. I think it started in Texas.
Well, they're building some in Ohio, aren't they?
They are. So they are getting ready to build one near Dayton, I heard.
Yeah.
So like on Interstate 70, that would be huge.
Yeah.
But the majority of these are in the South. Like if I think I linked the page in the show notes. Like the majority of these places are in Texas. There's some in Alabama, a couple in Florida and Georgia. but the majority are in Texas. And like other people I talk to have been to like the places near Houston and Dallas and stuff. But
well, according to Dayton Daily News, the Buc-ees Dayton area will be one of the largest nationwide.
Jesus, I can't imagine it being bigger. And I guarantee you the one I stopped at in Kentucky,
4,000 square feet.
4,000 square feet of Buc-ees.
Yeah.
Wow. So did they say when it's going to open?
I don't know. Just to put it in perspective, a Walmart is usually 187,000. So it's like a third of a Walmart, which is still really big considering it's basically a gas station.
It's basically a gas station. Yeah.
I don't know if it says when it's going to open. This was in August 2023. It does not say.
Okay. Well, when that opens, I mean, Mandy has always wanted to go to one, so we will probably. I mean, that.
Dude, I will make a trip when it opens just to go to that. Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll do the podcast from Buc-ees. We'll just set up a table in the store. What do you think they would say to us?
I have no idea.
That would be hilarious. Just doing a podcast from the parking lot. Oh my God. Yeah. It was that made the trip kind of worth it because it was a really busy, hectic trip, but that was so cool to finally world records. Okay. Okay. So on the Buc-ees website, there's a section called World Records, the world's largest convenience store. The Seaverville store is the largest convenience store in the world at 74,707 square feet.
Wow.
Okay. The world's longest car wash, 255 feet of conveyors. Wow. So those are the two. Where is this one? Buc-ees convenience store. In Katy, the one in Katy, Texas has the longest car wash. That's crazy.
Dude, I would do a 255 foot long car wash.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
World's largest convenience store. Which one is this?
Seaverville?
Yeah. Holy shit. Like, I'm looking at the map. Like, it's massive. Buc-ees convenience store. Like, they're not even calling it a gas station. They're calling it a convenience store.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's in Kodak, Tennessee. Where's that? Oh, that's east. So that's the one I must have saw ads for when I was in Knoxville.
Okay.
Because like I had to get on 75 in Knoxville, but as I was turning off to go north, and that's when I thought I was going to miss it. But so I theoretically could have been to the biggest one if I had stayed on Interstate 40. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, well, I can't wait for that one to open because I would absolutely go back because like they had like legitimately good stuff.
Yeah, they have like I remember like they have like souvenirs and like
yeah. Like I bought Mandy one of those little like stuffed animals. Yeah.
And like decorations and clothes and yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Wow, buddy. This podcast went places as always.
It did.
I think I'm going to try this little Arc browser out on my phone.
Arc Search? Yeah, download it. It's really good.
I've been staring at it here on my screen. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, the next time you grab your phone and you're going to do a Google search, go to Arc Search instead and type it in and say browse for me and let it generate a little web page for you. It's really great.
Okay. I'll do it, buddy. Mm-hmm. Get us out of here.
Hey, you can find us online at doingtheirbest.com. There you can find email, social links. Apparently, everyone who thinks we should have a YouTube channel has found our website, and that's constant spam I get now. So send me
Wait, what?
Oh, dude, I get probably about an email a day for people basically saying, "Give us money, and we'll optimize your YouTube channel."
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. So send me a real email, or all of our social links are there. And hey, everybody, thanks for listening.